Hi everyone. So you've got a small holding or maybe thinking of getting a small holding and you want to know what equipment to buy. Well, in this video I'm going to share with you what I think are the top 5 pieces of equipment for your small holding. And if you think you need anything else, then put them in the comments below and we can always add to the list. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, number 1 on the list, this is just my personal opinion, is to get yourself a small tractor. One similar to this one which I use. You've probably seen it in loads of videos that I've done on the channel. It's a little Kubota, this particular one. It's about 17 horsepower, but the most important thing on it is it's got a 3-point hitch and a PTO shaft, which you can attach loads of implements to. So this thing you can just do so much with. You can put a sprayer on the back, you can put pallet forks on the back, you can do basically, if it goes on the back of a tractor, you can put it on something like this. Now it is only, I think this is only 17 horsepower, so obviously it can't do as much as a huge, great big tractor. This particular one I got off eBay for about £4,500, something like that. It's got, I think they call these sort of greenkeeper tyres, so they haven't got the massive tread on, which if you're doing gardens and things like that, that's probably a bonus. It is 4-wheel drive, and the nice thing about this one is it's also got a mower deck underneath it as well. So if you've got a lot of grass that you want to cut, then it's really easy just to whiz around it with something like this. It's bulky and heavy enough to carry lots of stuff as well if you've got something to tow. It's a really nice, simple, easy to work on engine as well. Let me just show you that. There we go. Literally, you can get your hands around everything to if you're so inclined to sort of tackle mechanical jobs like that yourself. And yeah, it's just a really nice, simple little tractor. So you don't sorry to hit a leaf. So you don't have to go out and spend a fortune on things like tractors, but you will find that something like this is just so versatile and so useful. Now it does lead me nicely onto the number 2 thing that I think is really handy to have, and that you can use in conjunction with the tractor, and that is a small trailer. So let's just go and show you the one which we've got, and you can give me your opinions in the comments below as to what you think. Anyway, here we go. Now, I have got a bigger trailer than this, but this one here, it was a single axle trailer, and it's 8 foot by 4 foot, so you can actually carry a big piece of plasterboard if you go to the DIY store if you need to, so that's quite handy. It's single axle, so it's really handy if you're taking things to the refuge dumps, because quite often they say no twin axles, so that's quite handy to know about. And you can stack it up full of brash and things like that if you're clearing things away. It's also big enough to, I've never done it, but if you wanted to put any, a sheep or a pig or something like that in the back just to transfer from one field to another, then that's probably easy enough to do. And yeah, this trailer is just such a handy size. Obviously you can put it on the back of the car, but it's not too big that you can't put it on the back of your small tractor as well. So something like this is not braked at all or anything like that. It's nice and simple and relatively cheap. I did actually get this one new, but you can pick them up secondhand on eBay and other sort of auction sites like that. So yeah, this one has been so useful. You can take the cage sides off this one, just with the buckles or whatever the things are there. You can take all this off if need be, but I actually find that the cage sides just mean that you can just stack it up really high, and that's really useful. So yeah, this we use all the time for all sorts of different reasons, and regardless of how big your small holding is, I think a small trailer like this is just so useful. So that's number 2 on my list. So number 3 on my list is probably in the workshop, so just let's head over there. Okay, number 3 on my list is the Stihl chainsaw. It doesn't have to be Stihl, of course, it can be lots of different makes, but a good chainsaw is so useful on a small holding. Whether you're chopping up pallets, for example, for firewood, we do quite a lot of that, as you can see there, sort of knackered off pallets make fantastic kindling wood, and to chop those up with a chainsaw just makes, it's just so quick. Also, if you've got any kind of woodland or trees or stakes or anything like that, then having a chainsaw just makes life so much easier. Now, my advice for chainsaws, not that I'm an expert at all, is that in all likelihood you don't need a massive chainsaw. This one here, for example, is all that I've ever needed, really. It's only, I think, a 14-inch bar here, even be 16-inch, I'm not sure. It probably says on the finger bar itself. Now I have had 20-inch bars and things like that on bigger chainsaws that I've had in the past, but I so rarely use them. These ones are fantastic because they're not so heavy, and so if you're doing a lot, you don't sort of completely knacker yourself out. And it's also very good for doing sort of brush work and stuff like that. They're just really, really useful. So my advice is don't go too big on a chainsaw. A 14-inch or even a 12-inch finger bar is probably sufficient for 90% of the work that you're doing, unless you're chopping, great big trees down, of course, and that's slightly different. So chainsaw, really, really good. Still are a fantastic make, by the way. They just seem to be bulletproof most of the time. Husqvarna are a good make as well, but there's lots of other makes of chainsaw, so you don't have to go too over the top if you're only going to be using it occasionally, but you will find you use a chainsaw more often than you think. Now, number 4 on the list, I'm going to have a think about, but I think this tool we probably use more often than I thought we were going to. So let's just head over there and see what my number 4 on the list is. Okay, number 4 on my list anyway is my hole auger, and this is a petrol driven one. We've used it thousands of times, I think, and on a small holding you need to make holes everywhere, whether it's posts for chicken runs like this one, gate posts like the one behind me, or literally the hundreds of fence posts that will probably need to go in. You can cope with 4-inch up to 8-inch posts. And of course, if you want to grow anything, don't forget all those holes you need to dig to put your plants into the ground. Let me show you how quick and easy it is to make a hole with one of these augers. There you go, that's 2-foot holes dug really quickly. I dare say you could probably get deeper than that. Actually, this thing here that's probably about 1 foot, 2 foot, maybe about 2.5 foot if you go all the way in. But as you can see, they're really nice, neat holes, 2 foot down. And if you've got a lot of posts to do, which on a small holding you're forever doing fences and things like that, then having one of these machines saves a huge amount of time. Right, on to my number 5, which have to head over there now. Right, before I get on to number 5, if you're finding any use out of these videos at all, then feel free to buy me a coffee in the link in the description below. It really helps me out. In fact, if any money that I am very fortunate enough to receive just goes on buying new camera equipment and things like that to make these videos even better, or hopefully even better anyway. So without further ado, let's get on to number 5. Right, number 5 on my list is our Rotator. Now, this is a small Rotator, and it's got the teeth under there, which you can see, which really churns up the ground. And I picked this one up from a farm auction, which was about, I think it's about £100 or something, so it wasn't too expensive. And yeah, if you're turning over any degree of soil, any amount of soil, then having a little Rotator like this works really well. So I'll turn it on, let's see it in action. Now, we've got fairly sort of medium to heavy clay around here, so to do any kind of vegetable gardens with a spade would be really, really hard work. So even though the Rotator is struggling through relatively wet clay at the moment, which we've got, it's still a whole heap easier than doing it by hand. So this is going to be my 5th top machine or implement for a small holding. Now, you may have other ones or other suggestions, and feel free to put them in the comments below. I'll be really interested to see what your thoughts are. But that's probably it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. So I'll catch you in the next one. So till then, bye for now.